Hello, Mr. Marshall. This is another poker video. We are going to play some real-time poker, and what I'd like to do is basically to first line up these tables. But what I'd like to do is really focus on some real-time play and me literally just playing as good as I can, and basically um, I'm not necessarily going to be doing as much talking because I find sometimes when I'm talking, I may not be able to pay attention to the action as much because I'm too busy talking. Um, so I will just play as if I'm just trying to do as good as I can. Probably a little bit more aggressive than normal. And then we'll go from there. So I've already sat down at a couple tables. This is 5 cent, 10 cent, and then we'll sort of any key hands I'll probably still talk about. But then I was thinking maybe at some point in the next week or two, we could hang out in real life. We could watch this video together, and then you could sort of ask questions about why did you do that, why did you do that, sort of thing. So um, still going to play a little bit tighter, maybe than normal in the first little bit, trying to get a feel for the players. I'm paying a lot of attention to this table on the left. I'll call the left top 10. Table 1 and then table 2 is the bottom right. So table 1 I'm watching right now because this player out of the big blind 3-bet pretty aggressively. And this 12 BT downs, call. So we're thinking passive, but then he's bet on both streets. So we're going to see what's going on. Looks like Easy Road might have kings. Oh, he raised. Okay. Or ace king or top set. Okay. So nothing really to say about that. They both flopped 3 of a kind, and they both were sort of being a little bit trappy there. But it was interesting that he didn't raise himself with 2 tens. Just betting here blind against blind with a gut shot. I don't know why my stack is low here, but whatever. So I'm raising these 6s up here, 2 callers. Gonna bet on this flop. Just trying to get a hopefully against one opponent, hopefully in position. It's a pretty good flop. No problem. Just gonna mark that guy as passive. I'm not gonna pay as much attention to trying to label too many players. Usually if I can just get the regulars labeled, then I sort of know what I'm dealing with. Got top pair here. It's a very wet board, 6, 7, 10 here. I have top pair, good kicker. Raise these jacks. Now we're against one opponent with a shorter stack. Remember, 4 people saw this flop, so it's a little bit scary. I turn top 2 pair, so now I'm liking my hand a lot. He leads third pot into me, and I again raise. He doesn't have that many chips. Just do a nice pot size raise or so. And he called, and now we're just never getting away. If he happens to have a straight here, what are you going to do? He rivered us. So he had a straight on the river, but he had a flush draw. So I think we played that hand quite well. We just got a bit unlucky on the river there. And that was certainly a strange way to play a flush draw where he bet on the flop and the turn, but he did also turn 2 draws, so it's not that ridiculous. Not sure why I don't have all my chippies on there. So we'll just sort of watch here. Gotta see if we can get some reads on some players. King 5. Gonna mark that guy as a fishy. I don't know what he's doing in there with King 5 offsuit and limping in, so that's good news. It's gonna mark him green if they have fishy tendencies. There's the ace-10 offsuit. Got 3-bet fairly small. Just gonna let this one go till we know more about our opponents. We're out of position, we won't have the betting lead, and ace-10 is not the greatest hand to call 3-bet with. This guy looks like a regular. I'll just mark him as a regular. The fact that he 3-bet me already, he's betting 23 cents, which is an exact number. Seems not necessarily a good regular, but he knows at least somewhat how to play. And this guy's limping in as the first one in, so it's another good sign that he's a weaker player. This guy's limping behind him. Probably a couple weaker players here. Looks like table 1 is a tougher table than table 2 at this point. I'm also noticing this Jay Huntley is on 2 of our tables, making it much more likely he's a regular. Mark's guy is a fish. Slumped in a lot. He's got a smaller stack. Almost definitely a fish. Let's try and see if I can find a fish on this table. But I feel like they might be a little bit better on average. But we'll play against better players because that's how you get better too. Against better, tighter, aggressive players, you're just going to be bluffing a little bit more, 3-betting a little bit more, and just playing relatively tight yourself. We've got 2 8s here. Gonna call with this one against 2 probable regs, the suited connector. Flops an open-ended straight draw. Start by checking. No one liked the flop with the ace on the board. Gonna lead a tiny bet on the turn. We turned a pair, plus we have an open ender. Probably not taking it down, but wouldn't want to face a large bet on the river, and we do take it down, so that's good. Early position king 10 off isn't the best, but I could go either way with it. Plus there's the two fishies in the blind, so that's good. Just flopped a gut shot, nothing much. I'm just going to continuation bet once, hope to take it down. And we don't want to be bluffing fishy players too often. So we'll just kind of give up on this turn card. We river king, which is probably good. So I think we can go for value here. He's got a flush draw, he's not calling. He's got a queen, he will call. So we'll bet the river and hopefully get paid off. Unless we both river the same thing. So we're going to 3-bet this one. So you see a passive weak player, he just called with ace king high. He called on the flop when he missed. He just check called on the river when he actually hit his miracle card. So we'll just bet once on this low coordinated board, gonna bet a little bit more than normal. Flop the gutter here, we'll just let it go just against the blind. Okay, we got called. We're basically giving up here, depending on the turn card. We could have some sort of a middly pocket pair. I don't think he's got a flush draw, nines or tens or something. We'll just try and get to the river for cheap and see if we can hit one of our two cards. I think he's got nines or tens, my guess. Oh, okay. Call a 3-bet with a king 6 suited, so we will mark him as a fish. Fire once at this board and give up. Got 3-bet against by this guy, so now we just pay attention to that. We turned an ace, which is good. So I think we can bet again. Not sure why it's not reloading me on this. Yeah, we'll just call ace 10. It's kind of questionable. Clearly this Jay Huntley guy is regular and fairly aggressive. I will start 3-betting him a little bit more, but out of position there. He is in early position, so give him a little bit of respect still. But we will have to start fighting back from time to time. So we got one of our fish left and replaced by this guy. I'm not sure if he's any good or not. This is a very large pot and a large bet. Ace 10 against King Jack. Okay, so that guy's out, but it's likely not very good. Just mark him as a fish in case he comes back. No, he's gone. This guy's only got $7 and he just auto posted. It's very likely he's a weaker player. Until he's proven otherwise, we'll assume he's a weak player. Also assume this guy is a stronger player just because he's showing that he's played 500,000 hands. Okay, flop top and bottom here. We want to get lots of money in the pot as quickly as we can. If he bets, we're going to raise. If he checks, we're going to bet as much as we can. It's a pretty good spot to 3-bet here with the ace 10 against the guy who just posted, especially here with one other caller. So we're going to do a little squeeze here. 135. I'm going to raise our jacks here. This is literally this guy's first hand at the table, so I have no idea. Okay, he's going to call. Okay, we've got 2 callers, so we're going to fire once, and then we're going to give up. Here, this guy's 3-bet, so I think we've had enough of him. We'll 4-bet and probably stick it in. Okay, no idea about this player again. I think we give up here. I know it's a huge pot, but we will just go ahead and allow him to take it down. And maybe I bet that river, but so we fold the door 4-bet, so it's also a good sign. Alright, we're calling here. It's a good multi-way hand. Monster flop, we got middle pair, we got a flush draw. I'm gonna go for a check raise here. I don't think we can get our stack in on the flop, but we'll see. Probably a check raise, actually. I shouldn't necessarily say we are. But even against like an ace jack or something, we should be in pretty good shape. Plus we have this weaker player and this guy, which we really don't know too much about. Okay, thank you for betting. We're gonna raise decently. I'm gonna raise this one as well, the ace king. Okay, we got a caller. We now added more equity. So we're definitely going to go bet and then bluff the river likely. I don't think we can fold this on the turn no matter what, especially with the pot odds we got going on here. Okay, we bricked out the river. We don't have to bet a lot because if he just has a flush draw, for example, he's never calling. If he has a jack, he's never folding. So we're just gonna basically turn our hand into a bluff and hope that he missed his flush draw. So none of those things happened. He just held on for dear life with top pair, which is fine. Actually, that was a bad bet on the river, I think. My bad. Because he's either got a jack there, which he's not going to bet on the river, but he's not going to fold. So we sort of burnt that river bet. We hit it as checked, and if he had what he had, he would have checked it back. The only problem is if he had a flush draw, then he might have bluffed us off our second pair. As soon as I see a guy with deuce three, I will mark him as a fish. Got a gutter here, but not worth it at all for full pot bet. Okay, my ace king out of position. Let's raise against the one opponent. Raise the king 10 suited. I think we squeeze here. Okay, we turned a 10. I like betting again here, just a little bit. I don't think he's got a 7 very often. He might have an 8 here, and he's just sort of hanging on for dear life, hoping that we're bluffing. We rivered at 10, which is awesome, so maybe we can get a good amount of value here. We've got two callers here. It's terrible flop, 8, 9, jack. He took this one down on the river. I'm not sure what he could have had there. Okay, everyone checked, and we actually turned a straight, so we're kind of happy about this. Obviously, it's a 4-card straight, and king queen will crush us, but I still think we bet here just to protect a little bit. All right, so hopefully he doesn't have king queen. Okay, he has 2 pair. Weird. All right, well, I guess that was nice of him. We would have marked him as a fish if we didn't, obviously, because we called the raise with 9, 10 offsuit, which is a good fishy move. guy posted under the gun, which is a good sign. This guy limped in. So I'm going to try and mark a few fish. This guy limped as well. Obviously, we know he's fishy. Again, a pair and a flush draw. It's a tiny bet pot that's not raised, though. So we're just going to bet into the whole table. And lots of colors. It's a very actiony thing. I didn't think we get a lot of people fold. We didn't improve here. It's close between checking and betting. I'm just going to check here. Just try and get to the river for free. Okay, we were able to flush. 10 high flush, but it still has some value. Do not want to get raised here. That would be gross. Okay, another flush draw and a straight draw. So we'll just bet here to try and take it down. We got hugely raised here. We can possibly stack this guy. Normally I'd fold here, but we have so much equity. I'm trying to think of a gut shot. So we got 9, 13 outs. If we peel here, and we hit our straight, which is magical. So now we're hoping to get a bunch of his chippies in the pot. I mean, I'm gonna do a huge raise here. I think he's probably got like a 2-pair kind of hand and he's trying to protect. That's my guess. Okay. Eek. That's not a good card for us. Just because if he had a 2-pair hand that he boats up. Just trying to imagine if we get value, what we can get value from. I'm gonna bet that. Take it down. What can we get value from? 2-pair? No. It's just not enough we can get value from. Okay, he just was really trappy with aces. That's weird. Maybe we do get value from aces. It's probably a bad check. All right, flipped a gutter. Well, we have 2 big cards. King gives us the boom. There's our king. Obviously, we bet here again. Betting more when I hit, which is okay. We got min raised, so I don't think there's anything else to do but shove it all in. He wants to get it all in, so we will allow it. Hoping he's got 2-pair. He's got just a king, and he's dead. Mark him as a fish before he runs away. Oh, that was a bummer with that straight. I should have bet that river. Sometimes you give your opponents a little too much credit when they're doing weird, bizarre things. Okay, we got 2 callers. Flush card came. We're gonna bet again just to try and protect our 1-pair and then sort of try and just check down the river and hope our ace is good. Okay, we got rivered with the queen jack. Okay, so that guy is definitely fishy. And the other guy had, oh, he had a better ace than me, so he's just passively playing his ace. The good news is it looks like some of the regular players have left the table 1. It looks a little bit softer now, which is good. Raise the ace-7 on suited. We'll bet again, flopping an ace. That's pretty good. I'm gonna check back this turn just to get the showdown a little bit cheaper with 1-pair type hands. You don't necessarily go for three straights of value. He full pots a river. I mean, he could have a deuce, I guess, like ace deuce, but he could also be. That was weird. He's full potted with the same hand as me. We'll three bet the queens against the regular. Okay, three bet the fishy guy with queens. Oh, he folded. That's a bummer. Okay, Mark's guy is fishy because he limped in. Flat bottom pair, coordinated board. I think we probably have the best hand here a decent amount of the time. And we just check and hope he checks it back. Bet half pot. Last time he bet full pot with top pair weak kicker, but queen 10 off is borderline open from our position, especially with the scary guy on the button. We'll let him have it this time. Mark was like fairly loose. Been a boring few minutes, that's for sure. Not a whole lot to talk about. But we are grinding. Free look at the flop. Check and fold on that flop. I don't know anything about this guy. He's very passive. It's a pretty good board of continuation bet there with 2 3s and a 9. It's very unlikely that our opponents have hit that board, but a little bit more than a normal continuation bet. I raised and folded, so I'm gonna initially mark him as a reasonable player. Oh, that's a bummer turn card. Now I gotta represent the ace. But he likely has the ace. Okay, good. So now table 2 looks like it's certainly on the more regular side. Table 1 looks a little juicier. I bet a lot with my top pair here just because the board's coordinated. Quick check back on the turn. I mean, that's weird. Flopped open under here. I'll call this because I'm confused and see what happens on the river. Full pots the turn, or the river. Very weird line. As played, he's either got a flush or nothing, I think. Flush. Alright, it's been about 45 minutes, so I think I'll just play a handful more hands. I think overall it's been a mediocre session as far as like profit and loss. A few interesting spots. I think I made a couple of mistakes in there for sure. Mostly just not betting in certain spots. And I gave the opponents far too much credit. Let's just do this Jack Queen flush draw, 2 overcards. This is pretty good. Bet a decent chunk with Queen High. Take it down. Ooh, this looks like a weird pot. Guess it all makes sense. Did this guy limp in jacks? Just looking at that hand history. Oh no, he raises jacks. That guy called 8-9. Got the queen 10 suited. Oh boy, we might have some action here. Some implied odds for both of these two characters. Ace in the flop, so we're not loving life. Turned a gut shot, but we actually have only 3 outs because the queen of hearts is no good for us. Check again. There's a tiny chance I 10 skid here. No. Guy's really passive there. With jacks. All right. Let's just go ahead and call this session complete. I hope you enjoyed this experience. I'm feeling sleep. Oh, ace queen. Okay, we'll play a suited ace queen. Oh god, I'm gonna call her. If this guy calls, we're gonna squeeze. We hope this guy calls and everyone else folds. That'd be nice. This red devil character. No, we don't care. This guy is. Okay. We'll just take it down. We'll just sit our next big blind on both of these tables. All right, just a few more free hands, and then we will call it a day. Okay, I might be pretty close to even. I don't know if I start with like 50 something bucks, and now I got 50 something bucks. But it was entertaining. I guess so. Hopefully. Queen 3. The loose line. Probably a regular there. Played a million hands and raised to 22 cents. Looks like someone who has some concept of the game of poker. Last couple hands. We'll play this, try and get a big multi-way pot. Suited connectors are good with a lot of players. We got only one kind of fishy player. Plus flush draw, paired board. We'll see. Do a tiny raise here. I'm not sure what we're representing. We'll see if I can just take it down. I mean, he's got so many chippies. It's a little bit dangerous with a couple double stacks. I guess we're representing pocket eights. There's just not a whole lot. Ooh, that's a good turn card for us. Now we have an open ender to go with our whatever. I'm trying to think what we'd do if we had like 2 8s here. Guess we'd bet a lot. Can he make the hero fold? Tough thing about this is there's so little we're representing here. He might have ace king high or something, but at the end of the day, it's not a whole lot he can do with like an ace king high. And last hand, I mean, this is just a suited connector, but we'll play it because it's fun. Flop to flush draw, just a tiny bet. This guy's pretty fishy. And again, we turn an open ender. What is going on here? So we now have flush draw open ender, so a deuce, a deuce, a 7, or a club on the river, and we have a really strong hand. And we break everything. So we'll just check and fold. But we gave him lots of chances to fold himself. Okay, well that was interesting. I hope you enjoyed. It's my longest video ever. It's been 1 hour. And I almost am sure that we are basically within pennies exactly even for that session. So what a waste of my life. Just joking. Hope you had fun. Later.